chat room. Hey. Hey, Tiny. How are you going, brother?
Cummins Homebrew coming at ya. And happy Homebrew Wednesday to everybody. There's so much going on right now. I can't even begin to tell you. It's been busy in so many ways. My personal life's been busy, things going on, my business has been busy. And the SJPORR Challenge has been busy. And I'm not the busy guy, I gotta tell you. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people doing a lot of things, but I gotta tell you that Paul Wicksteed from Time from Another One, Paul is like a human wrecking ball, breaking through the barriers, taking this thing to the next level. He is really the guy with the big charge, and I think honestly the rest of us are holding on to his coattails and riding through, and and just so enjoying being a part of it and doing what things that we can do and what we can contribute. But so the next time you guys are on Paul's site, please thank him. But I'm not going to steal his thunder because he's going to have some fun announcements coming up, things that really he's put together truly. And I want you to be watching his channel, watching SJ's channel, watching all the different national distributors, if you will, the guys in charge. A lot of announcements are becoming forward, and we will have all of this very centralized soon. So there will be a very centralized place for you to get all your information, etc. And we'll leave it at that. So the other thing I really have got to do is I need to thank you, all of you, and I truly mean that. I just had the coolest thing happen. I got a Google email today from AdSense that they're depositing money in my bank. Wow. I know there are people that have had that before, but you know, that's a new thing to me. That's pretty cool, and it'll probably be about $100 or whatever, but I'm going to be using that then to upgrade the brew equipment, a much needed upgrade, and don't have to justify that one to the wife, right? Because it's coming from doing this. As I say that, there's something I want to mention. I do this religiously. I've said this before, but anyone that has monetized their videos, I religiously click on the ads. I have it set up so it pops up to another tab, and then I just go back and then say continue and skip, right? But I do my best to monetize for you. Hope you do that for me and everyone out there. You know, we might as well all benefit from this. I think so. So anyway, I think it's time to get a beer in me. What do you think? and none other than, where's my go-to right now? It's been Larmo22. And look what I've got from Larmo. This is awesome. This is the SJ Raspberry Imperial Stout, 7.5%. I believe, as I understand, this was the stout that he originally intended to be his SJPORR Challenge beer last year, and things got kind of sideways on him. I'm dying to try this one, so I'm going to get this one open. All right. Wow, I see some effervescence coming up the side. I don't know that you can see that. There's a thin head on that, and it's pretty dark. It's pretty darn dark. I'd say it's a really dark brown. So let's get a nose on it. I do get the raspberries. I definitely do. But it's really nice, and they're really good. They're fairly strong. I don't think as strong as when I first opened the one from the contest, but I'm getting this great balance of other stuff coming in. Oh, that is Larmo, that's awesome. That's so good. Oh, but I get the roast characters. I even get, there must be the oats on it, I guess, too. I get other characters. This smells great, so cheers. Wow, I like this. This is a really balanced beer. It really is. And I totally get the raspberries on it. This is a fairly easy drinker too. Truly is, but a lot of raspberry on this. A little bit of a hint of chocolate on there. And a little bit of roasted malts. A really good beer. Thank you, Larry. Take a deep breath. All right, here we go. So what have I got today to talk about? Let me take a look. One, I need to do a shout out to Jeff Hess. and I'll put the links down below. Jeff Hess is he put up his first Homebrew Wednesday on February 6th. He made a graph, and for those that aren't familiar with a graph, it's a cross between a cider and beer. So it's cider with malts, something that I plan on making this coming summer. I'll drop a link down below so you can do that and check out his site. Next, Chris and I were bottling beer this weekend. So, of course, I had my Rye-It IPA, and we bottled that up. And then we had another beer, too. So, just check this out. So, we got a really lame story. Well, it's a lame story, all right. It's all me. Well, I don't think it's that bad. So, this right here, this is like how would you describe that?
Fuck it, brown ale?
Yeah, that's pretty good. The ultra light brown ale with loads of hops.
Loads of hops.
So basically, way back when was it? September, I think, when I brewed with Colin.
No, it had to be at least October. I'm pretty sure
anyway,
it was October.
When I brewed the spicy Mayan chocolate stout, and then we took what was left with the grains and made a brown ale, and it was just like so weak, so light. I've had this bottle and in the fermentation chamber since then.
Since then, exactly.
So for months. So I finally pulled it out and gave Chris a try and go, "You think I should bottle this?" And he's like,
well, I said it's better than a Budweiser. It's actually pretty smooth, and it doesn't have a really good flavor-based malt. Light alcohol, not very much flavor, and you just drink it to get drunk after 10 beers, right? But it's got enough hops in it that I like it enough that and it's got enough of a brown ale taste to it that I like it enough to say, hey, you know what? Let's bottle it. I'll bring it home and share it with my roommate, because it's like one step below Henry Weinhard's.
It's probably like between 3 and 3.5% ABV. You know, so it is ultra light.
But it's smooth. That's the thing I was impressed with. It's very smooth.
Yeah, you can drink a lot of it.
It's drinkable. So we're bottling this.
Now, on the other hand, in this test tube, which we'll be bottling next, is the Rye-It IPA, and which I hopped the snot out of, hopped the hell out of it, and it was smelling and tasting good. I didn't get as good efficiency as I wanted off of it, which is unfortunate on the mash, but it tastes good. There's a good aroma off it. There's loads of hops in it.
I think it's the best IPA we've made, or Dad's made.
I think it'll be. Actually, I really liked my Use It or Lose It IPA, but this smells pretty good. And you got the kick of rye in it, which is nice. So we'll get this bottled up today, and then we'll see what we end up with. So one of my favorite things to do for stouts is to add bourbon and oak and vanilla flavor. And so what I've got here is just a good old mason jar. And it's been cleaned and it's been sanitizing for some time. We're going to go dump this out. And one of the things that I like when choosing like bourbon or rum is, rather than going and getting something like a Maker's Mark, like a higher end bourbon that's just really smooth, it's harder to detect the bourbon in the beer is what I find. So I go find things like Old Crow. This is not smooth. This has a lot of kick, a lot of taste to it, but you know it is there. And you don't have to use that much, because you're going to get a lot of bourbon flavor off of this using a cheaper one. When I use rum, I like to use the Kraken. I mean, that stuff's rough, but I tell you what, it does wonderful, wonderful things when used in a beer. The rule of thumb is you always leave enough for a shot for yourself. Now, you can do a lot of different things with oak. If you go with lighter oaks, you're going to get more of the straight oak and tannins. You're going to raise the tannin levels. Medium oaks are nice for kind of getting a balance between the two. And you get medium plus, which is what this is, which is darker, which is going to bring in more vanilla flavors, you know, more of the char flavors. And then you can get the dark, you know, the really dark. So what I'm opting to do with this one is I'm going with the medium plus. One thought I had, and I might add later, is to just come in with some nice medium to pull some of those tannins and those other oaky flavors as well. But in this case, we're just going to add on the medium dark, and this is a French medium dark in this case. I've got actually full 3 ounces here. I know you guys have seen plenty of videos of people slicing and splicing up their vanilla, so I'm going to spare you that. I'm going to get that cut up and I'll add it in. But I'm going to let this sit. I actually have one that I'll be using soon that has been sitting like this for almost 1.5 years. And I'm going to tell you, it tastes wonderful. Really good. So here are my 3 vanilla beans for this time around. And I split them in half. I don't know if you can really see that, but there's some really good stuff on the inside, and you want that definitely exposed. And then I've cut them into smaller pieces. So in this all goes. And the aromas, if you get fresh beans, fresh vanilla beans, is just magnificent. And then, as far as I'm concerned, you just let the stuff soak. I mean, this can soak for a long time. I know guys that just keep adding bourbon to their little mix, do it that way. I'm going to be labeling which kind of bourbon I have in it, what I have for vanilla beans, as well as which kind of oak, and the date. And then I'm just going to let this one sit for a good long time. The soonest that I'll even consider using this, this is February 22nd, I think. And this is going to sit and soak at least till sometime in summer before I even use any of it at all. But I found that to be really effective, and boy, does it just add a nice smooth flavor to stouts and porters. It's just wonderful. I gave this a little swirl in the break here, and look, it built up a nice little head, don't you think? That's sweet. And it's warming up. I know I was drinking this too cold, but look at some of the lacing that's building now that it's warming up. What a beauty. That's a nice looking beer. More chocolate, more chocolate. And then I got another beer from my neighbor down the road, Jesse. And Jesse, again, was a viewer of E. Melodius, who saw E. Melodius brewing over at my house and then started watching. And we've chatted a few times. He's going to be brewing this weekend, and I plan on going over there with him. He gave me an IPA to try. Wow, check out that. All right, today I have a homebrew, and this one, no label. This one comes from Jess down the street. He dropped this off. This is an IPA. I have no information about this. We're going into this one blind. It was dropped off with my wife, and then Jess sent me an email later saying that he had sent it. So I'm popping it open right now, right in front of you. By the way, I want to mention that Jess is planning on participating in the SJPORR Challenge 2014. So I'm excited about that. I so love this stout. So let's take a look. Wow, that's a pretty nice beer. I mean, this is a really pretty clear beer. Can you see me through there? Yeah, you can. And I can see bubbles rising up off the bottom. It's got a nice one-finger head, pretty much close to white. Very pillowy though. Nice looking beer for sure. Let's get a nose on it. Oh, yeah, very citrusy. A lot of lemon on it and a little bit of orange. I'd say a bit of tangerine as well. And I'm getting almost a light marmalade to it. And I'm getting a little bit of spicy, like herbal scent as well. Oh, boy, there's some hints of tropical on this too. A little bit of mango on there. I'm getting some rind on there, some orange rind, maybe a hint of grapefruit. That's what it was, kind of a hint of a pink grapefruit. Yeah, it's just like it's got a little bit of bite. There's a lot of rind on there, you know, so I like that grapefruit rind, the orange flavors, a little bit of marmalade, like I say, a light breadiness, a little bit of caramel coming off it. My mouth's salivating. I've been doing accounting all day. I'm ready for a beer. And this smells fantastic. All right, so cheers. All right, I'll just say it. Damn, Jess, you can brew. Wow, I will be coming down to brew with you at your house for sure. This is a great IPA. I'm almost speechless. This has an amazing balance. This gentleman, Jesse, is going to be a competitor this year. I'm going to just tell you, wow. And look at the nice lacing coming off of this. You know, there's some nice lacing coming down on that glass, for sure. How do I describe this one? It lends itself a little bit towards the Sculpin IPA by Ballast Point. You know, there's a nice light sweetness. It's not probably quite as sweet. This is super easy drinking with just a really balanced light sweetness for an American IPA, I should say. And plenty of hop character, but not overwhelming on either one. Just super balanced. And it's interesting, there's almost a little bit of like a creamy texture coming off of it. I'm just digging on it. Can you tell? Pretty much everything that I said was on the nose is pretty much in the palate. I get a bit more on the herbal side. There's a little bit of spicy bite on that. Not harsh, but you know, just a little bit of spiciness from the hops, but a really nice balanced sweetness. I don't think there's any honey malt, but I kind of wonder about that. And it's a light, nice caramel flavor. The citrus isn't quite as pronounced in the taste, but that's because it just is blending so nicely. And I almost feel like I do get a hint of some stone fruit in there as well. The carbonation's great. It's on the medium plus side of carbonation, but that's just wonderful for the style. This is comparable to commercial beers that I've had. It reminds me of the style from companies like Moylan, who's a big commercial brewer. Just one fantastic beer. I'd say don't change a thing. Don't change anything. This is just perfect like it is. You know, next time you're making that double batch, if you don't want a whole double batch, oh yeah, give me a ring. I'll come down, I'll brew with you, I'll pay for my half of the batch. Gladly, I would put this in my cellar. Wow, Jess, I'm so impressed. I've got to come brew with you. I got to learn your secrets. All right, cheers, everyone. Cheers, Jesse. I enjoyed it. I know you said this was not one of the better beers you made, you thought. Not your best example, but I thought it was fantastic. And the competition is on for the SJPORR experiment. I've had 2 beers from Jesse, who's going to now be in the challenge. So I don't have a chance of winning, but I'm going to be drinking some amazing beers. So I don't have a lot more to say this week. That was probably plenty. I will catch y'all next week. I'm sure I'll be throwing up some beer reviews in the middle there and whatnot. But you guys have a fantastic week, a happy Homebrew Wednesday. And from Clement's Homebrew, cheers.